So welcome to another episode of the Maroon Machine podcast. Got Gary Chen back on just for a catch-up, I suppose, this time. How you doing, Gary?
I'm well, mate. I'm well as we can be in these crazy times, but no, I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely. Do you know what? Yeah, same. Boredom more than anything. It's been closing in on a year and it's getting a bit tiresome, to be honest. Just looking to get back to a bit of normality, I suppose, same as most folk.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, to be honest. I think everyone, I speak for everyone, and so do you, everyone's in the same boat. You just feel like it's just been a year, not wasted, but like completely just written off for a lot of people. And especially football has been impacted a lot. And yeah, here we are nearly a year on, and we feel like what's changed? Nothing. What's been done? So anyway.
It's been a definite year. But to tell you what, one good thing to come out of it, I think, is we'll appreciate things a wee bit more when they get back to normality. I think when we all get back to the football, we can watch a proper game. I think we're going to enjoy it more than we ever have before. So looking forward to it. For yourself, though, since I last spoke to you, quite busy in the league and busy in business as well, I suppose. One of the highlights for me since I last spoke to you, though, was your Twitter, and it was with reference to the Stranraer game. And I think one of the tweets you put after it was, "My tweets don't age well, but my wine does." How's the business going?
No, fine. As I said, it was a very good Christmas. We were busy as anything, so it's been a wee bit quiet this month, which is understandable. Just loads of factors. There's too many ways you can analyse it. Time of year, people doing dry January sort of thing, and so no, we're steady, we're fine. But now we've just got a few implications with Brexit, which is. It's going to be a pain in the ass for the next wee bit. Obviously, right now I won't go too in depth, but just we can still get the wine up. It's not a problem. It's just delayed just now. The custom procedures are an absolute mess. It's not the Italian side or the wineries. It's not our side. We're prepared. It's the customs and HMRC. Just now they've got such a backlog. Like even the hauler we use is like one of the biggest, and like they've had to delay their shipments for 10 days because need to process all the other paperwork for the other ones. It's just a mess, to be honest. And that's one thing, like, I don't think people realise when they voted Brexit, like, how it's going to impact a lot of small businesses, and also just the way things are going to work going forward. When you go out for a meal now, these wee extra costs on your wine, your beers, your food, not just that, anything, coffee, anything coming from like sort of the EU is going to go up. So these people, they can't complain. They voted for it.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think it was so much information and a lot of misinformation going around at the time that, yeah, I think it's one of those things, people don't know what they're voting for until it actually happens, and that's something we're going to hate to see how it goes. Aye,
yeah,
now on.
Without going obviously political, like I know it's not a politics show, but yeah, as I said, it's going to take a while before everyone sort of like understands what's the benefits going to be. Is there any benefits? Because right now, along with COVID, it's just a bit of a shit show. So.
Exactly, but you've got wine and beers in stock at the moment.
No, we've got a warehouse full of stuff. It's just certain wines from one of the wineries that we ran out of stock through Christmas. We didn't, when you plan for stock, it's very hard. But obviously Christmas was super busy, so just near the end of like Christmas time before New Year, we ran out of like 5 or 6 of our favourites. And normally that doesn't happen. Like we always accumulate how much we should have in stock, but obviously you can't predict. So it was a mad Christmas, the busiest we've ever been. So it shows growth. And obviously, that's what I'm trying to get back up quickly. But no, we've still got plenty of other wines and beer and stuff in stock, which is good. But it's just like, you just don't want to be out of stock for too long. But as I said, right now, it's not just us. The big boys are in the same boat. Similar companies to us, all struggling, whether it's supermarkets. And I went for petrol the other day, Dreghorn, and on the bypass, and like they've got no diesel. So there's just things going down, and that's a major petrol station. So just be thinking that, and even like going supermarkets, like some stuff's missing and that. So yeah, everyone's impacted in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose for your customers, I suppose if they're doing dry January, they probably still want to get in there and get their wines in for February before the situation gets any worse.
Yeah, no, we've been pushing try January, or just being funny, like to try different things. And there's a thing going on, vegan January and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of organic and vegan wines. So we've been pushing that stuff. for people to try, and it's been good. So, but we're fine. We'll just keep hustling away, and as I said, hopefully down the line everything smooths out with Brexit, and it becomes an easier transition, so a period where it's a lot more simple for everyone understanding.
I'm sure we'll get there in the end. Always do. Like you say though, football podcast, and more importantly, it's a Celtic Hearts podcast. How much of the season have you been able to keep up with so far then?
Yeah, no, I've been keeping up with all of it. Still in touch with the boys and still follow the results. I've tuned into a couple of games. I've not managed to actually been able to sit down and watch a full on 90 minutes. I always watch the highlights, but listen, can't what you see in the parks, what you get. They've been brilliant. And obviously, the Scottish Cup game seems only sort of like we hiccup so far, but it's the end of the day they've challenged the League Two team pretty far. That's where they want to be. And as I said, from what I heard, first half great, second half not so great. So they'll learn for that going forward. And as I said, that's the level they want to be at. And Stranraer are no mugs. They've been doing well. So they feel like they've been, to feel heartbroken probably shows how far Celtic have came. That they're losing sort of like a last minute goal against a League Two team. So, but no, as I said, they're going really well.
It's an astounding start for the club, certainly.
Yeah, no, of course. I said I was following it. I was working and stuff, but I could just always checking on the phone. I always got a coupon on. So, but no, as I said at half time, I put that tweet out. So that went well. But no, that was brilliant banter, to be fair. But no, it wasn't a dig at Stranraer. Really, it was just the fact that Celtic and other teams in Lowland League are pushing, and they're coming. I think the League Two teams they know that. They're knocking on the door, and they should be frightened. Maybe not Stranraer where they are in the position in the table, but the teams near the bottom. I think it's been stale for too long. Obviously, I know in the last few years Edinburgh City and Cove have got it, but I think coming forward, there's going to be more teams getting the opportunity to definitely get in that league. But the second half they'll be disappointed with, to sort of, by the end of the day, you're playing against slightly more experienced players, better opposition. So, as I said, the boys will learn for that, maybe just switching off. And obviously, Stranraer were going to come out, give a reaction after half time. They would have got a rollicking, understandably, been 2-0 down, and they've got a reaction. So, Celtic just obviously maybe sat back a bit, maybe trying to absorb a wee bit of that. But at the end of the day, they can't. They'll be hard done by. They'll feel hard done by. But as I said, it's still a good performance.
Yeah, I don't think it came as any surprise in the second half when Stranraer came out and they were sort of they played a bit of Celtic's half. They laid off them a wee bit in the first half, and maybe that was a wee bit of them just trying to figure out Celtic a little bit. But the frustrating bit is. Certainly for myself, I was watching it, I sort of saw that coming in the second half, and it's happened before, obviously in other games when teams have gone down, and that generally creates a few pockets of play at the back. That just didn't happen in the second half for Celtic, and I think I'll be a bit frustrated with how it sort of went.
Yeah, no, of course that can happen in games, and as I said, when you're it's so hard when you're 2-0 up, but it's like it's an old saying, but it is a very dangerous position to be, even though it sounds crazy. But because if you get that third goal, the game's over. It's but where do you go all out and try and get that third goal, which maybe sometimes you should be on the front foot and just go and kill the game off, but then you're at risk of losing that goal where it brings them right back in, which is what happens. So obviously, and then once Stranraer get the first goal, the mentality does swing. It's just football. They get the lift, and then obviously, Celtic are then on the back foot even more, and they push on and get the second, and then it's just, trying to get maybe extra time or trying to nick the winner sort of thing. So, but no, listen, that's football,
Aye, absolutely is. And do you know what, they came out and they got the Stranraer got their pulled one back right off the break straight after half time, probably after sitting reading your tweet, to be honest. They probably got a bit right, let's go and show us Gary Cennerazzo. But no,
sorry to the Celtic fans.
No, but yeah, that can happen. It can tilt a game really quickly when that happens at the start of a half. But you said you were obviously busy working, did you manage to catch the highlights? I'd be interested to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I did. Obviously, I can't remember the first goal. Who was it? The boy used to play for BSC. The team scored the first one off the bar.
Aye, but it's more that last goal. There was obviously a few shouts about what happened before the penalty was given away. Should it have been a free kick? Should Hooper have just got rid of the ball? What do you think?
I've played the game, obviously. Like, I've been in there where you look back and go like, gosh, personally, I should have done this, should have done that, or what if we done this, what if we done it, what if the centre midfielder doesn't pass it to the left? Just wee things, but end of the day, like, that's it. That's, honestly, football's a mad game, but obviously they'll look back and look at the highlights and say, yeah, Hooper could have cleared it. Ted's a top player, experience and stuff. I'm sure he would be annoyed at himself for making that tackle, and don't need me to tell him that. And but it's just one of these things, eh? As I said, you make mistakes, but playing against better opposition, you'll get punished.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's it. It's a small sort of lapse, but it's a frustrating way for the game to end, certainly. But one of the positives, though, I think, to take away after that game was, we want to go as far as we can in the Scottish Cup, but it meant we could focus on the league. But shortly after that, it's obviously it's came to an abrupt break, we'll say, for now. Kelty now looking at a sort of probably mid-February return to football, you would imagine, at the earliest. I can't see them going back before people get to get out of this lockdown restrictions. That's going to be us 8 games sort of missed that we've got to make up the time with. It's going to be a frustrating, if we're able to see the season out to an end, it's going to be a tough run of games up to April.
Oh yeah, because the tough games were coming. It was Bonnyrigg was next, obviously, which always going to be a hard game. And no, listen, this is going to be hard for every team, but I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. Like you say, will it start back up? Everyone's got their opinion in that. Me personally, like, I understand why they've made the call to sort of call the league at part-time level, but myself, like, fair enough, some players might not feel safe playing, family and stuff, but like, if I was still playing just now, I would absolutely 100% want to continue. But as I said, everyone's got different opinions in that, but I do get it, because obviously they've not got the testing in place, the finances needed and stuff, so it makes sense in that way. But as I said, I do hope it can continue, and it's not like a null and void season, which would be a disaster for Kelty, especially because they're in a great position. So, and if it does continue, and yeah, they're going to have a hard run of games, quickly, fast, furious. So I'm sure Barry will have them prepared for that. They'll be keeping themselves ticking over just now, and I spoke to them in that, which they will be. So they'll just need to keep on their toes until the decision gets made whether it will continue, and make sure they're ready to go if it does.
Absolutely, and if it does, even if it gets extended further, some of the options that are already getting thrown about, there's some of them we've seen from last season, about it's not fair to relegate anybody, so just halt the season. I suppose that's a worst case scenario. There's talk about obviously your Championship and your SPL sides, they are continuing to play at the moment, which is massive considering we've got the Euros coming up. Can the teams in the lower leagues for League One down to, well, all the way down to the east of Scotland, can they play on a little bit into the summer if we get that? Do you think that's an option? What do you reckon? What's your opinion on
it? No, I agree. I think, as I said, like, for a personal point of view, like, I think you want to finish it. I think the teams would want to finish it, maybe not the ones at the bottom. I've got the chance of getting relegated, and obviously would love the season probably to be null and void. But it's a tricky one. It is depending. Like, some managers are going to have opinions where they are in the league, and fans and stuff. But I think you go into the summer, you play. Like, obviously, listen, the boys have got lives and livelihoods and family and stuff, but I'm sure they want to complete the season. That's why they've worked so hard, and I'm speaking for every team, worked so hard throughout the season so far, to then just have it, like, for nothing to take away. I think I would take that.
Do you think that's something that the boys would be in favour of, playing in the summer?
Yeah, well, as I said, like, these guys have worked hard, and as I said, every team, as a player, like, you want to finish, and especially teams that are not pushing for the league and promotion and whatever. I would like to finish, as especially if it's possible, if it's an option. I wouldn't want to work so hard and then obviously have that taken away from you and then just to be null and void, and you just feel like, what's all that effort been for? So, no, I think the boys would probably rather finish the season and complete it. So everybody gets a fair outcome. There's no question marks, there's no exclamation marks over the season, and end of the day, it's up to yourselves to give yourself the best opportunity. So if you're near the bottom, you try and finish your season to get away from the bottom. If you're at the top, then you want to complete the season and give you you want to win it fair and square. You know what I mean? You don't want anything sort of like taken away from you or given whatever. So, well, I think playing in the summer if the boys would do it, like as I said, there's no crazy year. I think people only just now have got football sort of thing to look forward to, and like that's kept a lot of people going. I'm talking about watching Premier League and stuff, but just to have the football on, and I think if I'm playing just now, I'd happily play in the summer, because at the end of the day, what else is there to do? This lockdown could continue, and football gives you that release. So I think that would be an option, and I'm sure boys would be up for it.
Oh, absolutely, and I think there'd be something a bit special. I don't know if that's ever something that will happen, but it's definitely a possibility. But something special about the fact that you could sit and watch Kelty play Bonnyrigg Rose at 3 p.m. and then Scotland playing the Euros in the evening, or for yourself Italy. There'd be something decent about that'd be a decent Saturday, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, that would be great. As I said, to be honest, I'm delighted Scotland and Italy are in Euros, because I'm very I don't favour one or the other, but unfortunately Scotland have never been there for a long time, so it's always been Italy. But no, listen, amazing, they're both there, and I think for the summer that's something to look forward to. I'm devastated, if that's the case, no fans can be there. Speak for probably the whole nation. The one time Scotland get to the Euros, that looks like it's going to go down that route where no fans are allowed. It's an absolute disaster for that, just typical luck for Scottish fans. But obviously to be able to watch your lower league team and the team you support, and then obviously watch your nation later on would be superb.
Would I? Obviously, you had a massive career yourself. You didn't really have to suffer absence for football for the same reasons that we're going through just now. Last season, it kind of came at the end of your career, so it just sort of helped give you a nudge. But you did have periods where you were obviously injured and you weren't able to play football. What kind? You say that it's massive for people's mental health, that they can sit and watch the football. What about the players? What about the boys who are playing? What do you think it's like having that gap? And what would you tell the younger boys? Because your experience as younger boys that are maybe starting off their career, they want to show what they can do, and they're not even allowed to play football now.
Yeah, no, I would say for the young boys, in the game just now, trying to make a name, whether it's in the lower leagues, whenever. They've got plenty of time. They just have to stay strong, keep working hard, and obviously, listen, nobody's experienced this. It's very different. You can't you can compare it to a long-term injury sort of thing, but as I said, mentally, even for a senior player, it's tough. To just be stop-start gaps, but I think the only thing to do is just sort of stay positive, and the advice is just focus on yourself when you're not playing. Keep doing the right things. And I said it is mentally tough, because as I said, you don't know whether you're going to be playing. You're trying to do the runs on your own. With the boys, you're missing the chat, the camaraderie, all that stuff. Which that's why a lot of boys are in football, because not just for playing the game, it's being with the boys. It's the fans there, the banter and all that. It gets touched on all the time, but it's a team sport, so that's why I love football, is being around boys. I like the squad 18 boys and that, the coaching staff, and if you've got a good group, it's the best place in the world. So when you get that taken away from you, and you're back to just being on your own, you're locked in your house, maybe you live on your own, that is tough. And in my career, as I said, I had a few long-term injuries in Czech, which was tough. So I can relate that way, just not doing anything every day, just watching the boys train from the gym window and then watching the games. It's hard. So the only thing these boys have got to now is nobody's playing, so it's not they're missing out. It's as a whole, so they just have to it's not accepted. It's just, it is what it is, and at least we've got some sort of joy watching the Premier League and the elite level, that just keeps you sort of involved, engaged.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a hell of a league down there as well. This season, it seems like anybody could win the English Premier League. So it definitely, at a time when there's, you're maybe off work a wee bit more and there's all this football, and I suppose there's not been a better season for it. So that's something we can certainly all be grateful for. I've got to ask though, shortly before we wrap it up, I suppose, if Scotland face Italy in the Euros, what are you going to do? Are you going to go for a half and half scarf, or are you going to what are you backing?
Listen, it's a win-win situation, because it's genuinely, to be honest, Italy have been there and done it. And they've always progressed. I've watched them win the World Cup and all that in 2006. That was amazing. So listen, if Scotland were to do it, I would be probably edging towards that, because, as I said, Italy, they're a nation where they've won major tournaments and all that, and they're experienced side. So I think, just to be obviously being in Scotland, that's what I'm saying. If I was in a pub watching that and it was full, packed to the rims, and Scotland went through, it'd be buzzing. It'd be amazing. Pints would be going everywhere. So sitting watching in the house, it would just wouldn't be the same, because normally, when Scotland last met Italy, I think Italy scored late on, and obviously. Maybe hard done by, but we had people around, and my dad's Italian friends, my mates and all that, were all drinking, and that was great. So just quality to watch both nations. So I don't have a preference, but I'd probably, if Scotland were to do it, then I'd be happy.
Yeah, I suppose a bit of underdog thrown in there on top. You'd expect Italy to do well, like they always do in these competitions. But no, look, thanks very much for coming on and chatting. Before I let you go, for the guys that are looking to see where they can find the business, maybe they are doing Dry January and they wouldn't mind trying some new wines in February, where can they find you?
Yeah, so the website is, as I said, we're very active in social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, Facebook, so you can come and have a look and see what we're all about, see the type of stuff that we bring in, the wines, the fizz and the craft beers. But the one to find us, as I said, you can get in touch with us there directly, or head on over to the website, www.bellisimoVino.co.uk, and yeah, you'll get to see everything we've got there, and place an order if need be.
Excellent. Right, look, I will let you go, Gary, and I'm sure we'll get you on again in the future to catch up. It's been good talking to you.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Pleasure.